How are you doing with managing your workload at the moment? Does it feel like you've got it together? It's all really organised, you've got brilliant systems in place, you have got this nailed? Or does it tend to feel a little bit chaotic, as though you're a bit of a constant rabbit in the headlights, regularly trying to remember what you're supposed to be doing today, who you've got to talk to, not so much where you've got to go, but what are the 8 million things you've got to do today? And just feeling as though you're on that constant hamster wheel, chasing your tail and never quite getting on top of things. I see this a lot. It's probably one of the most common things that I work with my clients, is this feeling of things being a little bit out of control, and not necessarily having that clarity on exactly what to work on right now. So one of my biggest tips in this situation is to get really clear about your process for daily planning. Sometimes you've done a fabulous 90-day plan. You might well have a to-do list for either all the stuff you ever need to do, or your general to-do list for the things that you want to do this week. But if you think about that, a weekly to-do list is probably going to be pretty massive. And if your to-do list also includes long-term things, rewriting your website, general content, that kind of stuff, then every time you look at that to-do list, it's probably just going to feel quite overwhelming. And it's hard to use something like that to really drive what you're doing on a daily basis. So I would always advocate a daily to-do list. And there's loads of reasons why I advocate this. But the first one, the most important one, is that it helps you understand how much you are realistically capable of achieving in a day. Because one of the big things that I find is, we go into business, when you go into business, that's evidence that you're enthusiastic. You've got to be positive and enthusiastic to take that leap to go into business. But sometimes what that means is you're ridiculously enthusiastic about what you can actually achieve in a day. So when you start to plan out one day's work, you will really start to see just how much you're expecting or over-expecting of yourself. So there are also brilliant reasons why daily to-do lists work. They just help to strip things back, to keep things simple. They also give you a much better chance of getting to the end of the day and actually finishing your list. So one key thing I would say is, don't expect miracles. If you try to switch, if this is not what you really do, a daily to-do list, and you try to move to this, it's going to take you a little while to really get to grips with it. And I think with any type of where you change a system or you change your organisation or the style of your work, it always takes a little while to bed in. And very often it feels quite uncomfortable at first, it feels quite alien, and a lot of people will give up before they've really managed to embed something. So cut yourself a little bit of slack. Don't expect miracles, but focus on things that you absolutely intend to do that day. Things that have to get done, things that you definitely intend to do, and then take a look at how much you've put on that list. What you might want to do is put very rough timings against things. So, writing your content is going to take you an hour. You've got a couple of Zoom calls. You already know they're a couple of hours. Just put rough timings next to things, and then see how many hours work you've got on there. Because what I tend to find is that most people put somewhere between 2 and 4 days worth of work onto a daily list. But if you can master this concept of a daily list, you will be amazed what this will actually do for your productivity and possibly for your sanity too. So hopefully there's a couple of tips there that can get you that bit more focused and organised in your business. If you would like more tips like this, and this is exactly the kind of thing that I'm very regularly sharing in my free Facebook group, the Business Growth Community. So head over to that Facebook group if you're not already in there. And of course, please feel free to share this video or the Facebook invite with anyone else you think would benefit. Thank you.